Boys cry and men don't. Shut up before I give you something to cry about. That's what I was raised off of. And I don't blame my parents. I don't blame my mama. I don't blame my grandma. That's what all they knew. They knew that type of upbringing. Where if I was a little boy and I was crying, hardly ever did they try to get to the root cause of it and try to identify what was wrong with me. But how many brothers out there can say that type of parenting kind of messed you up? Because now you're older and it's hard for you to cry. When the last time you cried? And I want you to do something, brothers. I'm on this journey where I'm posting content each and every day. It's just life lessons. I'm not a teacher. It's just life lessons, things I've been through, thoughts I've had. I'm going through some things currently, but I want to show up every day. This is helping me. So I want you to like, I want you to comment, and let me know when's the last time you cried. It's danger when we're telling our young men to shut up, to stop crying. There were so many days where I was crying on the inside as a little boy because of things I seen. I remember one day very vivid where at my school, it was bring your dad to school. And I'm looking around, all my friends had their father at the school. But then there was me, Leon, this little chocolate fifth grader with no dad. I broke down crying in that moment. My friends asked me, my teacher asked me, why are you crying, Leon? Where's your dad? And at the young age of what, 10, I made up a lie that my father was away in Africa or somewhere far on a business trip. And they said, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I wish we was able to meet him. I made up this whole story how my dad was away working. But the reality was I just didn't have a father in my life. And that moment crushed me and I was crying. And I went home and I was still crying. And I remember my grandmother, rest her soul, telling me to shut the hell up with all that crying. There's nothing wrong with me. I remember that. But again, I love my grandma. Rest her soul. But she told me to shut the hell up because nothing was wrong with me. But she never asked, baby, what's wrong with you? So when you're conditioned like that as a little boy, as you begin to grow into manhood, those tears become a little harder to drop. Those tear ducts, it's as if they lock up. It's as if your tears tighten up because you've been conditioned, you've been trained all this time not to cry. So now as a grown man, it's not that I can't express myself. It's just that subconsciously, I'm thinking when I was a little boy, let me shut up. Let me not open up. And there were some things and situations in my life where I shut it up when I should have been speaking up. It was some things in my life and situations where I found myself going down a deeper hole because I did not speak up. I shut it up because I didn't want to trouble or worry people because in my mind, there was nothing really wrong with me. Fellas, if we don't deal with our emotions and the pain and the issues we've been through, it's going to bleed out. If we don't stand up and be men who get help, who talk to the counselor, who talk to the therapist, maybe you talk to your pastor, if you don't be a man that do that, you will have children, and before you know it, you will be telling your kids those same things. And I'm not innocent. I'm guilty also. I found myself telling my son, man, be quiet. There's nothing wrong with you. But here's the thing. Here's the difference. I said that, but then I realized it. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. I said it, I realized it, and I corrected. I said, baby boy, come here. What's wrong? Tell daddy what's wrong. He just said, well, daddy, I just want a snack, and you're not giving me a snack. Teachable moment. Son, for one, you can't get everything you want. For two, you already had a snack. For three, that don't mean throw a temper tantrum. That don't mean that, son. So it was a teachable moment because I embraced his tears and he felt safe to open up. A lot of times growing up, when our tears aren't embraced, we don't feel like our voice matters. And it shows up when you get older. It shows up in your manhood. It shows up, bro. Let me know if I'm making sense right now. Like this video. We're doing something special on this page. Brothers are coming here. This is not trauma bonding. Let me get that clear. This is life lessons. This is the sad reality. We're not trauma bonding. We're relating like, bro, me too. I heard those things too. I know in the black community, this is what I heard. Not being able to cry. And I know brothers that's in their 50s, in their 40s, their 30s that I talk to. Man, they said, I can't remember the last time I was able to just shed tears freely and not be deemed as weak, not being looked at as a weak individual. Man, crying is good for your soul. You not weak because you cry. Get that narrative out of here. You're not weak because you cry. You're actually strong. And I encourage a brother, man, cry in a minute. Don't keep that bottle up, because when you don't have the words to say, the tears that fall from your face is communicating with God. And even if the tears hit the ground, that same tear that went from your eyes and hit the ground will be the very water that give your seed to increase the spout. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to say, God, I'm tired. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and weak. Don't be afraid. Sometimes I'll be driving and the tears just come down my eyes because life can get heavy. Now I'm in a season of my life where I'm embracing my tears. I'm embracing that it's okay not to be okay. But it took work. What did I do to break that cycle? Every day I had to look myself in the mirror. I'm telling you, when I was about 24 years old, this is when I really got freed. I had to look myself in the mirror every day and tell myself, you are a man first, but it's okay to cry. You are a man first, but it's okay to cry. Because there's moments in your life where you can't do nothing, bro, but cry. And don't let no woman tell you that's weak. Don't let no woman tell you men don't cry. What? If you don't cry, you're going to explode. If you try to keep all of that in, if you try to keep all of that to yourself, it's going to cause you to go crazy. I don't encourage no man, no person for that matter, to hold that in. Release what you've been going through. I pray in this moment, let's slow this video down in this moment right here. Let's slow this video down. What are you holding on to, bro, that has you emotional, but yet you can't cry? I want to challenge you in this moment to allow yourself to be weak. Allow yourself to be weak, man. You know what the Bible tells us? For all my Bible readers out there, and if you're not, I'm about to educate you. The Bible says, when I'm weak, that's when God is strong. The Bible says, when I'm weak, that's when he's strong. And sometimes, and this is what I'm learning, sometimes God will allow us to be at our weakest moment so he can show up and do what we can't. So when you do cry, when you do tell God, I don't know how much more I can take, that's you being weak, and that's you giving God the permission to be strong. So my prayer in this moment is, God, be strong for me, because I'm weak. I'm not a weak man. I'm just having a weak moment. That's why, man, if we don't unlearn and relearn certain things, it's going to mess us up. I talk to brothers, and you see brothers that's old, and this is a lesson that they wish they had. I talk to brothers that's been incarcerated for 30 years, and they came home. They was like, man, this is my first time crying in 32 years. I wasn't able to cry in there. He said, this is my first time crying, and I feel good. I feel different. I feel free. I had a guy tell me he been in prison for years, and he was out of prison for about 7 years. And he cried for the first time being out. And he said in that moment, he felt the freest. He never felt free, even though he was out of prison. He didn't feel free until he cried. Crying is purification for the soul. I will cry. I'm not holding back the tears no more. And you know what's amazing? I would have never started this YouTube channel if I wasn't breaking and crying out to God for help. I would have never started this YouTube channel if I wasn't breaking and seeking God for a miracle. Look what God is doing now. Look at the subscribers. Look at the viewers. Look at the comments. 99% is all love. But this page was birthed because of brokenness that I had. This page was birthed because I said, hey, I'm weak, I'm tired. Let me pick up my phone and just share. I didn't know it was going to do what it's doing. I didn't know the 1,000 of views was about to start circulating. I didn't know none of this. All I knew was, man, if I show up and just be myself and let other brothers and sisters know that it's okay to cry, not with my words, but actually with my action. This not a script. This not me saying, man, let me force some tears down. No. When you think about certain things in your life, it triggers certain emotions. And again, I'm not teaching nothing nobody else taught me. I'm teaching what I've learned. That's the point of this page. I'm sharing with you life lessons that I learned as a man that's 32 on this journey. Whether you agree with me or you don't, it's life lessons. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to be right about my life lessons. I don't have to. Me reflecting on what I've been through may not look like how you will reflect. So if you disagree with how I reflect on my life, that says more about you than it do me, because you didn't walk a mile in my shoes. And if I give you my shoes may be too big for you to walk in anyway. But all of this happened because of vulnerability. And real men will understand what I'm saying. Real brothers is watching these videos and reflecting back on certain things that they encounter in their own life. Be weak. Kill that narrative of boys cry and men don't. Kill that narrative. Boys cry, men don't. Man, the devil is alive. Get free. It's okay to shed it. It's okay to talk about it. But here's the thing. This is what separates the boys from the men. Boys will lay there and wallow in their pain, in their agony. Boys will stay there and wallow in the depression. But men will stay there for a moment, analyze it, be strategic, get up with a plan, and keep it going. That's what separates boys from a man. And I know the fellas that follow me, you've been through life. You got a plan. And guess what? It will work out for the good of those who love the Lord. It's going to work out for you, bro. You got that dog inside of you. You have strength inside of you. Everything you need, and I say this often, is inside of you. Boy, you better get up. Don't lay there. Get up. Don't stay down. Get up. So like I said, man, boys cry and men don't. That's a lie. We gonna debunk that. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. Brothers, how do you feel? If you made it this far, thank you. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think.